Hey there, this is Lei from Bullish Books. Let me ask you something. Have you ever worked somewhere where everyone was incredibly smart, wildly talented, but somehow nothing seemed to get done? Projects dragged on forever. Goals set in January were completely forgotten by March. Everyone was busy, but progress felt glacial. I lived this nightmare for years in academic research labs surrounded by PhDs from top institutions. These weren't ordinary people. They were scientists, literally pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. Yet despite all that brainpower, most labs operated in complete chaos. I watched talented young scientists spend years, sometimes their entire postdoctoral training, working on projects that led absolutely nowhere. And here's what really got me thinking. If a lab with 10 brilliant people struggles to meet basic goals, how does a company like Google, with tens of thousands of employees, successfully execute complex plans and achieve seemingly impossible objectives? The answer isn't magic or superior talent. It's a management system called OKRs, Objectives and Key Results. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how this framework works and why it might be the missing piece in your organization or even your personal goals. Let's start with a story that proves structured goals can literally save companies from extinction. The year is 1979. Intel had invented the microprocessor, but they were getting absolutely crushed by Motorola. Design engineers were choosing Motorola's chip in droves. If this trend continued, Intel would lose the microprocessor market entirely, and with it, the company's future. In December of 1979, a desperate district sales manager sent a telex to Andy Grove, Intel's president, essentially saying, "We're losing, and if we don't do something immediately, we're finished." Within 1 week, Grove convened his executive team. 1 week after that, they launched Operation Crush with one audacious objective: crush Motorola and recapture market leadership. Here's what blows my mind about this story. Intel changed nothing about its microprocessor. The technical specs remained identical, but Grove completely restructured how they set goals using OKRs. The objective was crystal clear: establish Intel as the leader in 16-bit microprocessors. The key results were equally specific: win 2,000 design wins by year end. A design win is an agreement from customers to use Intel chips in their products. That meant tripling the previous year's numbers. One design win per salesperson per month when salespeople were so demoralized that customers were hanging up on them. Management sweetened the deal. Achieve the quota, and the entire sales team goes to Tahiti. But if even one person failed, their entire district office lost the trip. The peer pressure was enormous. By the third quarter, design wins were still lagging. Then someone had a brilliant idea. They mailed full-color Tahiti brochures directly to every salesperson's home. By year end, Intel had exceeded 2,300 design wins. The AT86 dominated the marketplace. Intel's future was secured. So what exactly are OKRs? At their core, they're deceptively simple. An objective is what you want to achieve, your destination. It should be significant, concrete, action-oriented, and inspirational. Key results are how you'll know you're getting there. They're specific, time-bound, and most importantly, measurable. As Marissa Mayer famously said, "It's not a key result unless it has a number." Here's an example. Objective: delight our customers with exceptional service. Key results: increase Net Promoter Score from 45 to 60. Reduce average response time from 24 hours to 4 hours. Achieve 95% first contact resolution rate. Notice how the objective is inspirational but vague, while the key results are concrete and measurable. You either hit them or you don't. Now, the real power of OKRs comes from what John Doerr calls the 4 superpowers. First, focus and commit to priorities. When everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. OKRs force brutal prioritization. Google typically sets 3 to 5 objectives per quarter, with no more than 5 key results each. That's it. This constraint forces leaders to make hard choices about what matters most and what doesn't matter right now. Second superpower: align and connect for teamwork. At Google, everyone's OKRs are public. You can see what the CEO is working on, what your manager prioritizes, what colleagues focus on. This eliminates wasted effort. When a product team is building features, customers don't need, while sales hears different pain points. Transparent OKRs make the disconnect obvious before resources are wasted. Third superpower, track for accountability. OKRs operate on quarterly cycles with regular check-ins. At Google, teams review OKRs weekly. What did we achieve? What's blocking us? What's our priority next week? This catches problems early. But here's the key. OKRs aren't weapons. They're not tied directly to performance reviews or bonuses. When goals determine compensation, people sandbag. At Google, hitting 100% of your OKRs isn't celebrated. It's a sign you're not setting ambitious enough goals. The target is 60 to 70% achievement. Fourth superpower, stretch for amazing. Google's moonshots didn't emerge from incremental thinking. YouTube's story proves this. When Susan Wojcicki became YouTube CEO, the platform measured success by views. But views incentivized clickbait. They set an audacious goal: reach 1 billion hours of watch time per day. This seemed absurd. At the time, people were watching hundreds of millions of hours daily. They didn't hit 1 billion hours immediately. But by pursuing this seemingly impossible goal, they made breakthroughs they never would have achieved with incremental targets. If YouTube had set a realistic goal of 10% improvement, they would have achieved perhaps 12%. By setting a goal of 3 to 4 times improvement, they achieved far more. The stretch goal unlocked creativity and effort that conservative planning would have left dormant. Now here's where many organizations get OKRs wrong. They implement the goal-setting framework, but leave their old performance management system untouched. OKRs work best when combined with CFRs, conversations, feedback, and recognition. Traditional annual reviews deliver minimal value. CFRs replace this with regular conversations, continuous feedback, and frequent recognition tied to objectives. When Adobe implemented their CFR-based system, voluntary attrition dropped and work quality improved because people received feedback when they could use it, not 6 months later. For startups, OKRs offer critical advantages. Brett Kopf, founder of Remind, explained it perfectly. I have 6 ideas before breakfast. OKRs helped me say no to 5 of them and focus on the one that mattered most. The quarterly cycle aligns perfectly with rapid experimentation. You're setting ambitious 3-month goals, testing hypotheses, measuring results, and adjusting strategy. Now, getting started. The most common mistakes are writing objectives that aren't ambitious, key results that aren't measurable, and having too many objectives. If you have 8 objectives, you have 0 focus. Also, never tie OKRs directly to bonuses. When goal achievement determines compensation, people game the system. Here's what you need to do. Begin with leadership. Limit yourself to 3 to 5 objectives with 3 to 5 key results each. Make all OKRs public to drive alignment. Review weekly, score quarterly. And remember, Andy Grove's Intel stumbled when first implementing OKRs. Google took multiple quarters to get the rhythm right. The organizations that succeed persist through the awkward early phases. The organizations that thrive are those that can set ambitious goals, align around them quickly, track progress honestly, and adjust based on learning. The academic labs didn't have to fail. The brilliant scientists didn't have to waste years. They just needed structure, clarity, and a better way to measure what mattered. The question isn't whether OKRs work. Intel, Google, Adobe, and countless others have proven they do. The question is, are you ready to focus brutally on what matters most? Begin with one clear objective. Define how you'll measure success. Share it transparently. Check progress weekly. Adjust based on what you learn. That's how you transform chaos into clarity. If you found this valuable, head over to bullishbooks.com to read the full article with even more detailed examples. And if you're serious about achieving ambitious goals, subscribe to this channel. I break down the frameworks from the world's best business books so you can actually apply them. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next episode.